Hello and welcome to all my YouTubers right across the world. I'm hoping you're having all a great day. In this segment, it's going to be Relationship with Flows Part 1. Gabrielle will be honoured if you are to join us. Relationships. I am not liking this, but we are shooting this video. Relationship talk part 1. Where do I even begin? Oh, boy. You would hate to live in the country and be talking about this video. Nonetheless, we are going to do it. We're going to smash the ice and turn it into water. Relationships. Why it's so difficult. It's very important not to get relationships and money mixed up. There have been some fantastic businesses in Lakes Entrance that have been applied in Gippsland and Benstall that have struggled with relationships and money. It's that simple. What you got to do is put the two separate cases aside and focus on your work on one topic and your relationships on the other. Now, I don't care on what the consequences are about this video. It's about time that somebody whooped Gabrielle's ass and I'm the man to do it. And I'm going to kick my foot so far up its ass, it's going to hurt. Without that further ado, I do feel sorry for all the other saints and all the other ministers that have to go out and leash and do Gabrielle's work for him pretty much. Hopefully somebody can come up and take his place, or maybe they need individual cases for here on planet Earth. I don't, as a psychologist, I don't know. It's the difference between spotting a real twin flame and a fake twin flame. That's it in a nutshell, or a soul base, or what's a learning curve, or what's the lessons that I sort of need to be learnt. A lot of people in life suffer from depression because they're in the wrong relationships, and they've been married for 30 or 40 years. I mean, well, what the fuck's going on there? Why can't the proper person be with the person that they're meant to be with? You know what I'm saying? DNA structures, it's important to understand the way how the chakras work, because the chakras smash your complexion with your DNA. It's really that simple. Ryu talks about it on his show quite a bit and quite often. I have to respect the man for that, because that is absolutely right and 100%. So do take it in consideration, the chakras and the chakras lines that you're developing. I know for a fact that there's hundreds and millions and hundreds of thousands people life here on planet Earth that are just so upset with relationships. It's not even funny, and there's really nothing people can do about it at this particular stage in time. And I think it's about time that the guys from upstairs practically get an ass whooping for this topic. So and getting back to the business side, it is important to put one thing from one side from another. It's not easy, but it can be done. That's what I do with my life. It's a huge secret and a huge success that the company's built itself on, to realise now it's just so important to keep the horticulture and the gardening side onto one separate topic rather than relationships, because if you try and crisscross, it just simply doesn't work. And Gibbs from NCIS has said that many times, and it's right. You can find love at work, but only in extreme circumstances. You can find love with magic. What? But as you say, there's people that I know in my own backyard that have done it, and their families have done it for generations after generations after generations. And I got told that it'll be severe consequences for anyone that actually does use magic and finds true happiness and love and has kids and various bits and pieces, but there's always consequences to those actions that he or she sort of wishes to proceeding day-to-day life with magic. So yes, you can do magic, yes, you can have results, but at the end of the day, there will be severe consequences to people that use magic to try and find their partner. You might be hearing along the words, well, Darren, what can I find my partner? I keep getting told that I'm a gay or I'm a lesbian. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if you choose to go the other way from that, the more better, and the more I praise you, because you are wanting to start a family and having kids and building foundations, and I think that's terrific. Not that I've got anything wrong with gay sex marriage, so we'll just leave that at there. So you have to be very careful about hidden messages that you're sort of being told, because they could be completely wrong as we speak. So that's not from my experience, that's just from experiences that I've sort of been told. So it is outrageous and it's wrong, and you've got to be careful on what you sort of thinking in that thought process, because it's very important and could bite you on the ass either way you look at it. Now, relationships, people are saying you've got to shut your mouth, which is true, but at some point people have shut their mouths for far too long, and now it's time to unravel their cages and really find out what's going on. I mean, I, as a kid growing up, used to find myself in a lot of relationships with girls growing up in the later stages, leading to the end of the quarter. So your Decembers, your Easters, your Boxing Days, your Melbourne Cup days, and etc. But now, as an adult, you're finding that it's more and more work coming in, which is great. You still want the work to come in, that's fucking gross. Like, that's what you want, that's what you need to succeed on today life. And that's where people are getting confused. They're not wanting to work, and all they're considering and worrying about is relationships. Well, Darren, what's the answer to this? Why is this happening for? The answer to that is simply, I don't know. It's just what happens in modern day society. Now, at this present point in time, is it right? Is it wrong? I like the fact that the work comes in and you're under the pump and you're doing this and doing that and you're getting work done to impress your clients and various bits and pieces. Like, you should be aiming for that, you should be thriving for that, and you should be succeeding in today life, which is cool. But by the same token, there should be actually relationships coming through as well, and when there's not, you sort of got to ask yourself, or who's ever in charge of your specific case, to say, well, why isn't this happening? Why isn't this the case? No, you don't shut your fucking mouth. You just keep asking questions until finally someone snaps and says, yo, Joe Blow, yo, Dick and Harry, this is the reason why. A lot of people, as I said earlier, suffer depression from relationships, and it's just wrong. It's time for that shit to end. It's time for the curtains to open, and it's time for me to give an ass whipping to who's ever involved in making these decisions on day-to-day life, which is just wrong, and it's just really hard, not only for yourself, but for your families, for your friends, for your co-workers, etc. Now, drugs in relationships are crucial to understand the elements of that. Just be very careful if you're wrong, if you suspect the unexpected. Always give emergency 000 a call, and they'll always be there to help you in day-to-day life. So shout out to the police. As I said in a previous video, maybe it's time we actually looked after them. Getting back to relationships again, it is ridiculous that we have to keep our mouths shut. I'm pig sick of it. The world's pig sick of it. I hope the world sheds a light on the heart chakras and shines it brighter than anything before. I know a lot of people have shut off their heart chakras, which, I would ask it if there was a staff member working under my company and his heart chakra was off, I might put him aside and have a personal chat and say, look Joe, look Amanda, your heart chakra is completely shut off. What's going on? Let's have a conversation about it, because this problem could generate to be something much more serious into the future if we don't work on it between now until the problem gets solved. So the heart chakra is very, very important. In fact, I know it is the most important heart chakra that you've got to get in line with. So in essence, I'm hoping that other people take it on board to open up and start talking about these issues rather than keeping them bulked up, depressed, and with 2 bricks on the shoulder, because I've had enough. I'm ready to snap and defend your cases if I think you're ready, and I know where you stand. But in saying that, I wish for all the businesses out there to put their success with money and relationships aside onto 2 separate things, and not to keep them as one. I made the mistake of that 5 or 6 years ago, and I've been regretting that ever since, and now I keep the 2 separate. Now I keep the 2 things separately aside, which sort of indicates that, yeah, you can argue that the gunning business is sort of taking too much control, but in saying that, I enjoy it because it sort of puts me under pressure and sort of sees on how further it can go until this madness comes to an end. And not only that too, I looked on Suki 2 years ago or something. They've smashed new records just from around the world for people on wanting to join up on that dating site. I think it was something like 13 million, 14 million or something like that viewers per wide. So with that being said, there's heaps and thousands of people that are just sitting there waiting for their name to be called to find the right partner. And not only that, history sort of gets changed in today life. I know it sucks that you don't get choice in the matter, but in saying that, you should bring love and light to every circumstances that it should have come across in this topic. And if you're struggling to make decisions, speak to your counsellors, speak to your mentors, speak to your teachers, speak to your work colleagues, speak to your boss even. I mean, that's why they're there. They're there to guide you through life as well as work. That's why they're your boss. So maybe even ask him about the options that are available. Listen to your dream time. Listen to what your subconscious is saying. Just be totally aware of the surroundings that are in your area as well. If your area is isolated, just ask to yourself, well, why is this area isolated? Why am I feeling the isolation? What's going on? Do I need to embrace it? Do I need to get out of it? Do I need to start thinking of other alternatives or day-to-day life? So these are all questions that need to be answered in this session. You know, a lot of people are saying, oh, I want to move area, I want to get out, I want to get this, I want to get blah, blah, blah. That's good. It's a good ambition and a good persona. I don't have a problem with that. But my question to you is, what are you going to do different once you land into that area or into that new location that you sort of bump up? Is it going to be easier for your life? Is it going to be harder? Is it going to be more stressful? What type of people that live in your area? So the area is very, very important. Not only that, it's also important for the Kundalini energy to get through and to get around. Like, even on some travels and that, I've looked at some circumstances and I thought to myself, no, you can't do that, you know. So that's why the area you're living in is very important for her Lumi energy to get through and for you to get up to your top. And when it gets up to your top, it gets up to your crown chakra, and that's very important again for your heart chakra to multiply times 10. So, yeah, so getting back to Gabriella, he has got a lot of work to do. I mean, a lot of work. I'm not being mean, I'm not being hypocritical, I'm not being archangel-less, I'm not into demoniology and all that shit. In fact, I agree with 80% on what the archangels are saying. I would have preferred them to send me back down to handle Sarah's case. I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, I would have been the first guy in the court to defend her case, and I can guarantee you I do not lose. And why? I am very, very, very good. I'm disappointed in St. Michael's decision in that. I know with the Saints at the moment that they're sort of saying, well, Darren, you're sort of ready to buy a property in Lakes Entrance, and that has come up in another topics of what's been going on upstairs, especially with my aunt and uncle that have passed over, and they're saying to the archangels on a number of occasions that Darren's actually ready to run his own property and for his own home, and it can actually be quite spectacular, which is true, but there are many reasons for me not having a properties, so that's sort of where we're at the moment, and a couple of private reasons, a couple of reasons with this local community, and various bits and pieces like that. But it is nice for people to say that he's ready to run his own home. And no more mortgages. Be like, Gabrielle, it would be honoured if you were to join us. Sorry, that just had to come out. G40 classified. Sorry, I'm just mucking around with you guys. It's sort of been a long week. You can laugh at that one. So, with all that's been said and well and good, it is the Melbourne Cup long weekend, and this is also a video to try and help people to go into the Melbourne Cup. And not only that, guys and girls, even if you were to see your dating agencies and various particular things like that too, I'm sure they will help and give you some advice and maybe even give you some contacts for you to join. Even small things like Sukick and RSVP, elite singles and various bits and pieces like that. They're always there to help. Again, check people's energy fields to find out if there's a partner or if there's not a partner. Another trick I use is just look at the person's hand to find out if there's a wedding ring or not on. And another key ingredient is eye contact and body language. That's another crucial element. And checking people's auras and various bits and pieces like that. So, and start asking questions. You can always ask for questions, and it's always good to get people to back you up on your case as well. That's always a good thing. And another good thing, that's the other thing, another thing about relationships too, is a lot of it's already happened upstairs before we even came down here on Earth to experience these things. But in saying that, they should give you a chance or an opportunity to meet somebody if that's sort of what you want. So with that being said, I hope that people start asking questions, and hopefully some people get some answers too with this video. We'll leave it at that, and I hope all your viewers out there have a wonderful Melbourne Cup weekend. There will be another short video after this, which I've already done. It's in the shop being edited. A funny story that happened in the shop. I sort of want to know a bit more detail on that. I was just so tired when I walked in there at lunchtime. It sort of gave me a smile. So I hope you have a great weekend. I hope this video helps, and I hope it leaves 20 bricks on people's backs. If you think you're the only person in the world that's needs help with the relationships, you're not. There's 150, there's billions and zillions of people that are in the same fight, and now we're here, we're going to look a little bit deeper into the case, and we're going to keep putting pressure on Gabrielle until we start getting some answers. I'm one of them. I'm sure you're one of them. I'm sure that the birds flying high in the trees are one of them. I'm sure the dog that's down the road's one of them, and maybe even something else too. So have a great weekend and peace.